Let's do a little status check down there in the hotbed of high school football talent. Now, Texas is elite. California is elite. Florida, I think, is probably right now, most people would tell you, at the top of the rankings when it comes to talent from the high school level. And so I want to kind of take it a step further from just checking the status. I want to ask, what is the mission for these four Power 5 teams in the Sunshine State, in the state of Florida? And let's just start in Gainesville. Let's start with the team that wears the state's name on their jersey, on their apparel. You know what I'm saying here. Let's talk about the Gators, man. Florida, for me, the mission for them in 2023, I think you take the word trajectory and you put it all over the building. You put it on a T-shirt. You put it on the teach tape like we do outside our door, and you touch it every time you leave. Like, trajectory is the name of the game for Florida. Vegas has got them at 5.5 wins. Whether you like that or not in Gainesville, that's where you're at right now. Okay, so far be it for me to tell you that's what you should expect from your football team, but the number I'm putting out there for the people in Gainesville, the number that I think you need to achieve is 7 wins. 7 wins. You need to win the SEC. They need to make a New Year's Six Bowl. Let's get one more win than we did last year if we're in Gainesville. And the reason why I say that is because last year you had 6 wins. You get 7. You can pitch to recruits improvement. We've said it on previous one-off videos. I'm going to say it again right now. Improvement. That's what you can sell to recruits. Because Billy Napier had his first year last year, and a lot of people are expecting a step backwards this coming season. So the bar is set pretty low for Florida. What if you step past that bar and then step past the bar that you set a season ago with AR on your team? And you can tell recruits, hey, you see where we're going with this? You see how we keep improving? Come be a part of this. Get on this train now, brother. It's pulling out of the station. Come be a part of what we're going to do here at Florida. That's the kind of pitch you can make to recruits. And I'll tell you this, that would fire me up if I'm a recruit. To be a part of something at the ground level and get to be a part of bringing Florida back, like, that's exciting. That's appealing to recruits. And here's the thing with trajectory. It's not going to be like a super cool tagline. It's not going to be like the most entertaining, brand of football to throw out there for people. You're going to hear a lot of, hey, just do your job. Hey, play complimentary football. Do your 111th today for the state of Florida. Do your job for Florida today. Like, don't beat ourselves. Those are kind of going to be the taglines you hear. But the reason why that is because you don't have that great equalizer that was AR last year. I said it before, I'll say it again. I'll say it before, I'll say it again during this segment. But with Florida, really, that's kind of the case because with AR last year, dude threw on the cape, stepped out on the field, and there were times where he's just like, yep, AR is him. That's how we're going to go today. You don't have a special player like AR that is visible, at least right now, during the preseason on the offensive side of the ball. You got 2 really good running backs. You got a quarterback that's played a lot of football. Got an offensive line you're piecing together. You got some solid wide receivers. Like, it's going to have to be complementary football. The defense has got to hold their water. The offense has got to do their job, and you just can't beat yourself. It may not be a super entertaining brand of football like you saw last year with AR, but if you can get to 7 wins, trajectory is the key word here for Florida. You can take that on the recruiting trail and keep building things with Billy Napier. Because you're not letting go of Billy Napier if you win 5 games. You're not. The buyout is too high. $31 million plus. I mean, you're not paying that. You're riding with Billy Napier here. So buy into the process, buy into the system here, baby. Let's get some trajectory going, all right? Trajectory, put it on a T-shirt. Let's move on to Miami. And before we do that here, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like the video. And make sure you're following me on Instagram and on Twitter at JD Piquel. Thank you in advance for that. Let's keep on rolling here now. Let's talk about Miami. The mission for Miami in 2023 is erase the old you. Kind of clever how we did that lower third there. I'm just going to say this. Shout out to our graphics team. But erase the old you, because the people that have watched Miami, or at least saw year 1 of Miami under Mario Cristobal, they have this perception of Miami, and I don't think that is accurate to what they're going to be long-term. And I think last year wasn't what Coach Cristobal was signing off on either, obviously. Missing a bowl game at Miami, that's not what he came there to do. That's not what he is going to be a part of at Miami long-term. When I say erase the old you, I mean wipe those memories people had of 2022. Show them that last year was just a fluke, if you will. Because to be real, last year at Miami, the car broke down. And whenever a car breaks down and you get it back in the car to drive it again, everybody starts asking. Everybody starts to have that little whisper in the back of their mind, like, hey, is it going to break down again? Is this just what this car does? Is it just unreliable? Is it just not up to par? No, that's not the case at Miami, I don't believe. And for Miami, that's what I think you have to try and negate in people's minds. And ways you could do that, go win 8 games. The Vegas number is at 7.5, go win 8 games. If you do that, people are backing on what Mario Cristobal is preaching from a process standpoint. I think you also kind of view 2022 a little bit differently, because then you say, okay, well, the offensive system, that was part of the problem. Okay, well, the defense, hey, it looks like it was better than it was in 2022, and it wasn't even bad in 2022. Okay, Tyler Van Dyke, yeah, you know what? Maybe that was just kind of a down year. Happens. He was beat up. System wasn't a fit for him. It happens. Like, that's the kind of memories you're trying to now reprogram for people that are watching Miami, especially recruits. So prove to the country that the U is not what they were in 2022. Erase the old U. Be the new U. We're having a lot of fun with words here, so we'll keep on rolling. Let's talk about Florida State. The Seminoles, this is their year. We talked about it on the last live show. If you tuned in, I feel very strongly that the expectations match what they expect internally at Florida State. Like the public and what Florida State wants to accomplish in-house, I think they're aligned right now. And when that's the case, your team's in a good position. The thing for Florida State, to me, is establish your rank in the state of Florida. Establish your rank. The alternate titles that we could have thrown into this lower third for what Florida State needs to do in 2023 is finish them or cut the head off the snake. We went with a little more of a PG version with establish your rank. But we haven't seen it translate in recruiting just yet for Florida State. And that's kind of what we preface this whole segment in. There's so much talent in the state of Florida that if you were to win the state of Florida when it comes to recruiting and you're going to be an in-state school, like, you're set up for success down the line. Florida State, they've done a lot through the portal, but it sort of feels like they're still trying to win over the high school level. Had a good year last year. Think about what Florida State is supposed to do this year. Supposed to, in a lot of people's minds, in Tallahassee, win the ACC. Supposed to, be in that college football playoff conversation. If they do those things, if they win the ACC, if they're in the college football playoff, then you view Florida State differently in the pecking order in the state of Florida. Because I don't think Miami's going to stay down. I'm probably in the minority here. I don't think Billy Napier and Florida are going to stay down, just by nature of the way that both those schools do things. But if Florida State beats both those schools, yet again, if Florida State looks dominant in the ACC and does what I just said, what they're supposed to do, then recruits are saying, okay, that's the top dog in the state of Florida. Okay, maybe that's the school that we should go to if we want to, do some good things on Saturdays. Yeah, Miami's good. Yeah, Florida's good. But if I can stay home and I can play for a team that's going to be in the college football playoff when it expands every single year, it feels like I want to go play for that school. Like for Florida State, this year is about establishing that you are the big dog in the state. Just do what you're supposed to do. Establish your rank. Now, we're not done talking about Power 5 teams in the state of Florida, because UCF is joining the Power 5 party, headed to the Big 12. Gus Malzahn, John Rice Plumlee, they won 9 games a year ago. They really almost won the American Athletic before they got out of there. The mission for them is just show you can hang. And that sounds kind of little bro-ish, talking to UCF like that, but I think it's a fair bar to set for them. I mean, if they win the Big 12, more power to them. I think they're a sneaky team. I've talked about it before. But for UCF, just show you can hang at the Power 5 level. Because everybody is watching with bated breath to see what UCF does, especially kids in the state of Florida are going to see what UCF does as they move up a weight class. It's common, right? You see a boxer or an MMA fighter move up a weight class, and you're always wondering, man, are they going to be up for this? Are they going to be able to hang with these big dogs? I think UCF will, but I think a lot of it is being taken seriously at the Power 5 level and putting together a solid product in year one and showing, hey, it's not going to take a while for us to be competitive in this new conference. It's not going to take a while for us to eventually compete how we want to compete. And I'll say this, I believe in Gus Malzahn. He's won at the highest level. I believe in John Rice Plumlee, who's also been competitive at the highest level in the SEC when he was at Ole Miss. I think they're going to have a chance. I think for UCF, if you can be right in that, let's say 7-ish wins, 7, maybe 8 wins. If you win 8 games, like I said for Miami, the same thing for UCF is true. Show you can hang, establish who you are in a new conference, and then start pitching that to recruits. And then say, you want to stay home? You want to kind of zig when everybody else zags? Everybody's going to Florida State. Everyone's going to Miami. Everyone's going to Florida. Come be a part of the new Power 5 movement here at UCF. Stacey Gage, one of the big-time running backs. I believe he's going to commit here this coming weekend, it sounds like. UCF is in his top 5. All right? UCF is in the top 5 for one of the top backs in the country. So I'll just say the Power 5 branding is already being put to work. But if you show what you can do on the field in a new conference, hey now, UCF could be cooking a little bit. So to recap it for Florida, it's about trajectory. For Miami, just get last year out of people's memories. Erase the old you, show them who the new you is. For Florida State, you have a chance now to finish the deal. Have a chance to establish your rank in the state. Take advantage of this now. A lot of expectations, a lot of buzz. I promise you, Mike Norvell, he's not worried about it because they got their own expectations internally. But establish who you are and establish that rank in the Sunshine State. For UCF, show you can hang, baby. That's what it's about. Show that you can hang. I'm excited to watch all of it, to be honest with you. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.